What up, YouTube? Hey, I'm back with another video. I got this video I got from AQ's channel. Shout out to him. It's a video about a so-called black man who says we shouldn't have to struggle this hard, and he starts crying in his car. I'm gonna let him talk about it, and then I'm gonna chime in.
Y'all, I've had a series of fucking panic attacks at fucking work today. Like, we are not supposed to live like this, y'all. We are not supposed to fucking go into work afraid to show your face because you've been fucking ugly crying in the bathroom. Like, what the fuck? Like, I'm on lunch and I don't want to go fucking back in, y'all. We shouldn't have to struggle so fucking hard and then struggle to operate, struggle to function as a person trying to make it. Like, what the fuck, y'all? And I don't have a solution. Like, I don't know, y'all. This ain't fucking it, y'all. This ain't fucking it. I did not picture life being this fucking bullshit, y'all. And everything is so fucking fixable. Like, we can do it, but nobody will do it. Like, what the fuck? Anyway, I love y'all.
All right. So first, I know some people would say that this man is he's having a weak moment or mental breakdown. I wouldn't say that the brother is weak. I think he's struggling. I think, especially in the times that we're in right now, many dudes are in tough financial situations. A lot of responsibilities are piling up, and you just never know about someone's emotional and mental state of being. For this brother, like him and other brothers who may be having a similar episode or just a similar situation, I advise them to find peace in the scriptures and find yourself in the Most High first by humbling yourself to the Most High, because that humility begins to eliminate many of the anxieties that you have by admitting to yourself that you can't control everything. So you submit to yourself to the one who can. That's only if the Most High has blessed you and his brother with faith, because not everyone has faith. And if he doesn't have faith, or if you don't have faith, then I recommend you brothers to seek a therapist or a counselor or a psychologist, or seek someone to even your primary care doctor to prescribe you some medication, because the Most High is not dealing with everybody on a spiritual level. And sometimes you have to seek out help in the carnal world, which is good at times. I think counseling and therapy is a good thing if used correctly. Even medication is a good thing if it's used correctly and if you need it, because, like, again, the Most High may not be dealing with you on a spiritual level, because the scripture is supposed to be your medication. That's supposed to be your therapy. But if you don't have that spiritual awareness or understanding, then you have to seek ways to survive and adapt in this environment, because this environment is built to break down the so-called black man mentally and to destroy him. So I want brothers to be able to survive. But I want to touch on some things that he said specifically in his video. Let's go back a little bit.
Y'all, I've had a series of fucking panic attacks at fucking work today. Like, we are not supposed to live like this, y'all. We are not supposed to fucking go into work afraid to show your face because you've been fucking ugly crying in the bathroom. Like,
The brother said that we're not supposed to live like this. And I think he doesn't really understand the environment he's in right now. The so-called black man in America is behind enemy lines. And when I say the so-called black man, I mean the black men of the captivity. The so-called black men who are the descendants of the Aboriginal Americans, the so-called black men who were the descendants of the quote-unquote black Europeans who fled in the Middle Ages to the Americas in the 1600s, 1700s, and the so-called black men who were on the west coast of Africa, who were the descendants of the children of Israel. Many of them were. When I talk about, that's what I mean when I say the so-called black men. In here in the Americas, we're in a certain type of condition where, very similar to the story of Job, where the Most High has allowed Satan to destroy our hedge. We're in a position where we're in a very vulnerable position. We're behind enemy lines. So that's why many of us struggle in our daily coming and goings, in our workplace, in our neighborhoods, in our families, our relationships with our, quote unquote significant others or our wives, which is probably one of the most hardest part of this test, because the Most High has allowed Satan to separate us from our women, both mentally and spiritually. And the Most High does this in a way to fulfill the curses in Deuteronomy, but also to mentally test us to see who's going to have the mental fortitude to survive and rise above, and who can see through the BS. Because the so-called black man in the flesh, represents the men of the scriptures. So we have a tougher battle than other demographics. So we have to constantly remind ourselves that we're behind enemy lines. We're in captivity. We're not in paradise. This is not our rest. We cannot get too comfortable here. And this brother, he wasn't either taught that, or he doesn't understand that. He thinks that life is supposed to be simple. It's supposed to be this quote unquote American dream, and that's not the case. That's not the case at all. Um, I'm not saying that life isn't going to be comfortable at times, or sometimes going to be simple, but to say life is supposed to be easy, that's just not the case for a man in general. But so-called black men, no, definitely not. He just doesn't understand who he represents in the flesh, and he doesn't just understand the conditions of the battle. Let me see what else he said.
What the fuck? Like, I'm on lunch. I don't want to go fucking back in, y'all. We shouldn't have to struggle so fucking hard, and then struggle to operate, struggle to function as a person.
He said we shouldn't have to struggle to survive. And I think the brother may be going through some financial difficulties. Again, we have to make wise decisions in these last days. Inflation is going up. We're heading towards a recession. Apparently they want to deny it, but if you know economics, once you hit 2 quarters of downward GDP, gross domestic product, is supposed to be a recession. We have been in the red for the last two quarters, in spite of the allegedly high employment, and some markets are booming in the economy, but many people are struggling. So, in these times, we can't just act like we're supposed to be living this lavish lifestyle that you see maybe people on social media traveling and doing a lot of trips and stuff like that. We have to make sure that we be able to, be smart with our money, be very economic in these times. And a lot of people, they're maybe living above their means. I'm not trying to cast aspersions on this brother. I don't know his situation, but I think a lot of his issues may be that he's not budgeting his finances enough, or sometimes we may not be in a place where we need to be. A lot of brothers are talented out here, but you're working in a regular day corporate job, but it doesn't allow you to really express your creativity, and that is a frustration in itself right there. So we have to make sure that we understand that we have to be able to make the best situation for ourselves. Sometimes we have to work a job to pay the bills, but hopefully you'll be able to use that to hopefully parlay into something that you really enjoy, and also you can make money from that. But let me keep going with this video.
Trying to make it. Like, what the fuck, y'all? I don't have a solution. Like, I don't know, y'all. This ain't fucking it, y'all. This ain't fucking it. I did not picture life being this fucking bullshit, y'all. And everything is so fucking fixable. Like, we can do it, but nobody will do it. Like, what the fuck?
And one thing he keeps saying, we and y'all, he's speaking to a collection. He's speaking to everybody. Again, this brother doesn't understand the conditions of the battle. He's a so-called black man. He's blacklisted. He's enemy number one. He's not supposed to succeed. And that's why a lot of brothers get frustrated, because they really expect other people to feel sorry for them. And I hope all so-called black men are listening right now. nobody's going to feel sorry for you, because the people who run this world, and that's why I hopefully y'all look at my history videos. The people who run this world, they understand the true history of the so-called black man. They tell you you just came from slavery. They understand that in the Middle Ages and even beyond that, you were ruling the other nations. You were ruling in Europe, you were ruling in North Africa, you were ruling in what we call the Middle East, you were ruling in the Americas under the Mayans and Aztecs. Those were all so-called black men. So these brothers today, they don't understand their history, but the people who run this world, they do, and they will never let you understand that. So they always punish you. They always push you to the ground because they can never let you understand where you come from. Not until the end. And that's why it's like it. In Deuteronomy 7, it says that we're a peculiar people. We have to walk like that. We're special. We cannot be like the other nations. We cannot be like other people. We can't expect them to understand us. You know? I saw an interview a while ago. It's from the sister Shahrazad Ali. She was asked from the interviewer if the so-called black woman honored God or what she called Allah, and Shahrazad Ali said, "No, the black woman doesn't honor God, because if she did honor God, she would honor the black man who's made in His image." And I remember when I heard that, it was very revelatory to me, very revelatory statement, because not many people can see that or even are bold enough to say that. But what's more important is that the so-called black man understands that he is a reflection of the Most High. All men have a certain level of value in them, but because the Most High created the so-called black man in His image first, you're special. And to be special is to be unique from the rest, to be called out. So you cannot be like everyone else. You cannot seek equality. You have to seek rulership so things can return back to their proper order according to Scripture. And when I say according to Scripture, I mean pertaining to Romans chapter 8, verse 19, where it says the sons of God will be manifested. I'm paraphrasing. And when I say, the so-called black man in the flesh, I always have to emphasize that in the flesh, because I know there are some brothers who may not look like the so-called black men in the flesh phenotypically, but they still have the spirit of the seed of Jacob in them, or the spirit of Messiah in them. So the spirit is going to manifest the sons of the Most High, which is the elect. And that's why it's like, we cannot just say this to some cast in a knowledge. We can't just presume that we're going to be a part of the Most High's elect. We have to always walk that humble step, and hopefully that the Most High deems us worthy to be a part of His elect. But we always have to understand that, the Most High is the judge, and that we just have to maintain, we have to preserve. So hopefully for that brother, he understands that. Hopefully he may see this video. Hopefully, other brothers who going through that, they may understand that. So, but in this world, we have to, we have to live, difficult lives, and, we have to maintain, we have to preserve, because that's what it's about. We have to raise our level of understanding, our level of perception, and we have to be able to survive and see through all this BS to maintain ourselves and our families. All right. So that's all I got, man. Peace.